Nick needs to say something just funny for the intro.
I'm not funny, bro.
What did you just say about your floppy disk? Welcome everybody to this new episode of Dynasty TCG Cardcast with myself, Hinchi Chung, and we also have Kavish and Nick and my new haircut. Hopefully this doesn't scare you guys, because our whole team might become buzz cut boys.
I don't have the hairline for that.
I'm gonna find Kavish and just... Anyway, guys, introduce yourselves to everyone.
Nick, go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick. If you watched any of the podcasts, apart from episode 2, you would have seen me. I'm a senior rep at Dynasty, and I have really odd takes sometimes, so stick around for some really interesting opinions.
Kavish?
And me, Kavish. Obviously, I haven't been on any of the podcasts before, but more to come, hopefully. Just time to get into them. But it'll be cool to do. Another senior rep at Dynasty, and let's see what we're going to do today.
We're going to have lots of fun. Okay, we're going to jump straight into this week's video because we've got some really exciting cards that people would have never even seen before except for just the artwork. So, let's get into this. We have a 5 cost, 3 range, 3 strength, 5 health unit card, the Forest Dweller. And the effect of the Forest Dweller is, when this unit is defeated, shuffle it into the deck. With also flavor text, one has heard of legends of these beasts. Anyone want to jump in there?
It's nice to see something like the more spiritual animal sort of style. It's quite a cool deck type. It's very different from the rest of it, so it'll be really cool to do. And it kind of shows, obviously, with the effect that pretty much immortal in a way, or in a sense, doesn't die, it just goes back into it, get it back later. If you got 3 of them in your deck, that would be quite helpful. 3 of those on the field at one point in time is going to cause a lot of problems, to be honest.
Nick?
I think it's an alright effect. I like the stat line for the cost. I think a 3/5 is quite nice. It's got free range, which is always going to be helpful to pick off these supporting units in the back. When it's defeated, shuffle it into the deck. I think it's a good effect to not only keep you from deck out, but just keep recurring this nice piece. But the only issue that I see with it is it goes into the deck, but then how are you getting it back out? Because it's a 5 cost, I don't believe there's a searcher for it yet, so you can't just directly grab it out. So it'll be the consistency of it's shuffled in, but will I see it again, sort of thing. So that's the only issue I have with it.
Yeah, no, I agree on that as well, to be honest. It's obviously going to be, especially early game, it's going to be really hard to pull that sort of thing out. I guess it will also be really good for the trade center. I mean, 5 resources, not too common, so it'll be quite useful for that without throwing away a whole champion to do it. That should be quite helpful.
What do you think about that, Nick? 5 resources is one of our only 5. I think it's the only 5 cost unit in the game so far. What do you think, Mr. Even Number?
Well, obviously, I have the whole thing about I like even numbers. But I think the 5's the right number to have, because if you're going on your 10, so that's 15, you're playing I don't know, maybe a 5 cost. You can intimidate and then still have 10 resources. Or you can T-break, then you have 12. So it plays into some nice staples and just some nice disruption plays on your curve quite nicely. So I think it's fine at 5. I think the 5 cost is quite nice.
Allows you to play a champion and have an intimidate at the same time.
Exactly.
Play that and don't worry about the other side. It'll be quite useful.
That's true. What are we thinking about this 3/5 health?
I think it's pretty good. There aren't many cards that I like that are generically other than your champs. That's bordering to champ sort of area into that sort of defense and health. Even some of the lions aren't really up there with that. Especially with the 3 range as well. I don't see any kind of backlashes from this. There's nothing in it where it's that's a bit crap. This pretty much seems like a must-have in the deck.
Yeah, I think it's great. The stat line's just amazing. You can't say anything against it. 3/5 for 5 cost. and then it's a recurring body at the end of the day because it gets shuffled back. There's just nothing really bad about it.
Yeah,
And this would be potentially a good. Oh, sorry, Karen.
Oh no, I was just gonna say because like in the state of the game that we have now, because everyone's either playing just their archetype support and champions, having something like this will really mix it up because you're gaining a bit more strength, but then it's never really dead. It's always like gonna come back one way or another.
Yeah, agreed.
And
And
what were you
again,
gonna say?
if we see more coming up, like different, I guess, dwellers or animals and things like that'll work really well. Hopefully, there's some cards that kind of assist in that sort of thing as well. What was I going to say? I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. It'll come back to me. But yeah, having different units in the same sort of archetype or style will be really useful with this. Hopefully, something that may allow you. I think Nick mentioned it earlier. Finding that forest dweller back from your deck after it's been put back in.
Yeah, or maybe something like if we have like when something is shuffled back into the deck, you draw a card once per turn, or like something like that could really just boost this quite well. Like it introduces potentially a mechanic of shuffling things back into the deck and then gaining an advantage off of that. So it's quite a nice little avenue that we're going down in it.
I did just remember, so I think this would be a really good sort of counter against Shen. I think Shen's obviously in his base sort of champion. His kind of level up is quite easy to do because of the attack and the defense, but having 5 defense on something like this, if you play this and attack a weakened Shen, that's actually a good way to get around it. Usually the Blue Moon Archer is your best option really, but I mean, it gets a bit tiring after a while. So it will be nice to kind of have something else that can defend that right well without a champion being used.
Ooh, that's actually a really good point. Are we seeing Blue Moon Archer's downfall now because we've got the Forest Dweller coming out?
I wouldn't go that far. No.
I won't go to that yet. I think we're a long way against Blue Moon downfall, but this could be the other option. But I think this will strengthen that a lot more. Like imagine having this in front of a Blue Moon to protect it and then knock it back when you need to shoot the damage.
Yeah, no, true. Because obviously, if this is the leading unit and then it gets defeated, it doesn't actually get defeated. It just goes back in your deck.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about retreating it because realistically, just send it back and I don't know. It would be nice to get it back on your field in 2 turns, but at least you're not physically losing it. Yeah, that could work quite well.
Nick?
No, I agree, you know. There are a lot of situations where I want to argue against people, but today I just can't think this is a bad card. I think literally the only issue that I have with this is the fact that it's a bit inconsistent when you have no way of fully searching out. Although I already covered this earlier, it's just the biggest flaw of the card. Like, there's just no way once you've shuffled it in that you can find it consistently. So that's the only bad thing I can find about it.
This card also feels a bit like a tee-up. Like you're alley-ooping this for more cards to come out to assist with that. It's like when you have the it's not Build-A-Bar, Herbalist. It's like we have the Herbalist. It obviously clearly the effect it means there's going to be more of it. It's just a little alley-oop waiting for more things to happen, it seems.
Yes, that is true. These cards do not actually have full support yet, but it's highlighting what will be coming.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Blue Moon Recruiter in a way. Like when it was just that and the Archer, it's like it said search any other Blue Moon. Realistically, 9 out of 10 times you're going for that Archer. So otherwise it would have just had Archer written on it. There's obviously a lot more coming, like the one that we'll speak about shortly.
Exactly. The thing that I'm most surprised about is that Nick is so silent. This is one of the only cards that he is so silent about, and the only bad point that you've made can be made for every card.
No, well, okay, so I know it can be made for every card, but when the whole mechanic is you're shuffling it into the deck, you're shuffling it into the deck, but you're not able to grab it back out consistently. So like, there's almost no point apart from preventing deck out sometimes, because you're shuffling it into, let's say, I don't know, it could be like a 35 to 40 card deck at like the highest, I guess. So the odds of seeing that are quite low.
Yeah, but I think it's always going to be a nice card to bring out, especially, you know, as I would say, Nick, early game, right? If you bring this out early game, you've got guaranteed 3 damage with a 5 body. That's going to be pretty hard to get rid of. But also, I think the sniping opportunities of this card is so good, because you can literally just kamikaze this, put it on row A or B, and then just go boop. Okay, just get rid of your thing, and my forest dweller is going to go back in my deck, and you still have that deck advantage there. Oh, I think it's going to be pretty fun using.
To be honest, this is a clear way to get rid of a Shen. Like, I'm looking at one now just to remember its attack, but 4 and 7 is your Shen battle champion, and you have anything supporting this. Like, it's going to tank the hit, and potentially with something supporting it, kill off a Shen in 1 move. Like, that's quite peak.
I need to.
That does not mean you buff Shen, by the way.
I'm gonna give him like 5 strength now.
This card needs no more buffing. I'm telling you that now. Aside from this card, that Shen is the most perfectly created card in this entire world. One better and Lungflung better.
Well. We won't go into that conversation again. You know what? We will make a podcast episode debating that one day.
This guy is there.
But we'll see about that. But okay, fine. I feel like we've kind of exhausted everything, because apparently this is such a perfect card. Now, how many booms? Cavish, you can have the honor of doing your first ever Dynasty boom meter boomage.
Okay,
so
you need to
out
explain.
of 5 booms, right? You know how like what are they called? The Costco guys. They do their booming.
I've never heard of them, but okay.
How have you? Okay, fine. Okay, basically 1 boom is like bad. 5 booms is like, if you don't have this in your deck, you're crazy.
I mean, like, I would have to agree with Nick that the effect is great, but it doesn't have the full purpose yet. So I'd probably say right now it would be at 4, because there's no drawbacks to the resources, the range, the attack, the defense, and the effect just isn't bad. Like, it doesn't do something useless. And being honest, there's some cards where it's just like the effect isn't too necessary. Sometimes you don't want that effect, whereas this, like, you kind of, it's a win-win in a way. Like, even though it's going to be hard to bring it back, it just goes back in your deck. There's still that chance there. A few turns later, you could just pull up another one. But again, realistically, if you think about it, if you've got 3 of these in your deck and you lose one, you put it back in, you're getting that chance again. That's like pulling a champion every time. 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, should I say, for that. So I'd say 4 booms. It'll hit that 5 when we have more dwellers or animals or things to actually assist it with that kind of effect a bit more.
Nick?
I actually fully agree. I think it's 4. I don't think we'll ever reach 5.
There's not enough conflict for my liking.
Well, it's when you bring 2 players who like think the same, you know. It's like, we're actually thinking with logic instead of, oh, this is nice artwork.
Yeah, and to be honest with you as well, Nick, I think the only other way this can reach a 5 is potentially an environmental card that works off this. That potentially buffs the forest dweller or something else over other things.
I think it leaves a lot of room for exploration in different mechanics, whether we have like an environment card or a card that's like, when something's shuffled into the deck, do X. Like, it leaves a lot of room for a lot of fun like mechanics and gameplay niches that we can have. So I'm quite excited to see what this leads to.
4 booms.
Brilliant. Both of you have 4 booms. I'm not going to give a boom this week because I don't need to. But I also do like, I think it's a very rounded card. So on to the next one, which didn't click. Yeah. Okay. As we were talking about it earlier, Hold on. Okay.
That's my code right there.
We're getting some new Blue Moon support in this next pack release, which is going to be the Blue Moon Heavy G, a 4 cost, 2 range, 2 strength, 4 health, with the ability, if this is the only unit you control in a lane, it gains 2 strength. With the flavor text, they are fools to challenge us. Anyone
Well,
this?
Go ahead, Nick.
Alright, so I think this is a really good card. So it being 4 cost, it means it's searchable from Call Up or the Blue Moon Recruiter. The 2 range is always nice, just to be able to poke out the little bodies behind. It's not free range, so it's not like perfect, but 2 range is still always nice.
To make his pole. His pole is only long enough for 2 range, Nick.
Well, he can throw it, Hinchy. He can throw it.
That is true.
You know,
Give me an idea for a card.
he can throw it, and then his range becomes 1 because he can only use his fists.
That's a really cool idea for a
That
card.
is a
To be
cool
honest,
idea.
you have a.
We've just created a card.
After that.
I've just created a card. We'll figure out how to put that in the game. But anyway, back onto.
Anyway. So I think this card's really good. It being a 2/4 alone, it's an alright stat line. But then if you're making it a solo tank, it's a 4/4. 4/4 is like a really solid stat line for a 4 cost. If we look back on the 5 cost, it was a 3/5, so it's the same amount of stats because it's 8 in total for 1 less cost. If we're really deeping it that way, so I think it's quite a good card. It's also a really nice artwork, if that's anything to note.
Explain to me, what do you mean, it's
So the
brain?
it was the Forest Dweller, right?
Yeah.
So
3/5.
it was the 3/5, right?
Yeah.
So in total that has 8 stats,
Oh, yeah. Total
and then
stats.
this will have in total 8 stats combined. Sure, it's spread out 4/4 and 3/5, but you're getting the same total amount for 1 less, and it's, if anything, more evenly balanced. Sure, it's not like another Shen counter because it will die to the 4/7, but it's still nice just to clear all these mid to small range bodies out the way. And if you're supporting it with a veteran
as
hay,
well.
exactly, yeah, it knocks down 3 health. It's a really nice set of stats.
Yeah, I'm still going to say Blue Moon is going to carry a lot of decks, and it's going to keep going because it does well. I would potentially say now that in the Champions kind of search, you potentially have, I think, Longfeng kind of taken over Shen a little bit in some cases, but I still think the Blue Moons overall, with everything they can do, especially with the Heavy G, makes a big difference. In the early game, having a Heavy G by itself, drawing that as your first card is a godsend pretty much. Knocking 4 to anything at the start of the game is going to be really tough. And I just to remind me, what's the attack of a battle champion one?
The attack.
Yeah,
I think she does 6.
6
I
attack.
wish she was a 5.
No, she does 6 damage.
6 damage.
I think if I remember it correctly, it should be 6.
Oh, it was lower than that.
I think it was a 6. Was it a 6/8? I think she's a 6/8.
Yeah, you know what? That might be right. It's also higher as well. But
Because 5 is a weird number to put onto attack.
yeah, for 4 resources, which is again half the amount of ones that do similar sort of stuff, that'll do really, really well. I don't
So
think
then-
it's overpowered, but it's great.
So the non-leveled up when is 5/7, leveled up is 6/7.
Yeah. So 6.
Yeah, this will make a big difference. Again, I don't think it comes close to the Archer, but this will be great in how it works. 2 range, so it's not just clearing anything on the board, so it's not an insane strong feat. The 4 resources, again, the same as the other Blue Moons, I believe. they're all 4, aren't they?
Yeah. It's either 3 or 4. What they have.
So it just fits in quite well. Again, very helpful ability early game, even late game, just push things out, spread things out, but it works really well with the rest of the Blue Moons. when you're playing against an archer, you're kind of splitting up a bit of your deck so you don't fall like prey to that one blue moon ability. This mixed with another card as well that I'm sure we might jump into a bit will do really, really well.
Wow, have I just designed like really good cards that there's like
Yes.
no conflict? Where is this? No, to be honest, I do like the card lineups that we have today. I do really like them because I spent like a bloody long time the other day. I was on my bed and I was like, we've got the basic support like blossoms, blue moons, the dragons, all this stuff. But then like just having, I would say it's like you have tier 1 and then you have tier 2. This is more tier 2 support stuff that you would actually like build a main strategy around. Like I love the fact that if you just play this again, it just has 4 strength. But the annoying thing is when you have to kind of play it behind someone or someone else has to come and support. So even if you played Veteran Hay behind him, he becomes slightly more useless because he gains 1, but he's just 3. Whereas if you just leave him by himself, he's a 4. So I think I'm going to have to be the guy going against this, but you have to play him by himself to maximize his value. There is no point playing him with anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But in a Dynasty game, because you have the 5 lanes, I'm not often filling up every single lane.
Filling up every lane with multiple cards is going to be quite hard to do. Your opponent is making big mistakes if that's happening.
Exactly. Like, there's so much way to remove things, even just by swinging into it. Like, you're not drawing enough cards because we don't have like full card advantage. Yeah, there's not that many cards that draw us cards. That's why I valued so many draw cards so high last time. You just can't fill your lanes up quick enough for this to be a downside yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I agree on that.
I feel like, once again, we are exhausting all the positivity out of this card and finding 0 negativities. So, let's go into our booms. Cabbage, how many booms are we giving this?
I'm probably going to surprise you when I say this, but I'm giving it 3 booms.
Oh.
The reason why, and I think this is a great card, it's just I don't think it is as useful by itself than the Forest Dweller, which is why I gave that one a 4. This by itself, even though the 4/4 is really helpful, but this you need a little tee up from a certain few other cards that might help. Again, we're probably going to go through a few of those later, but 4 resources, 2 range, 2/4. It's not insane, but in the best sort of status it is. But again, I think it isn't broken, which is why I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Nick?
See, I was going to give it a 3.5. I don't think it's quite the Forest Dweller level. I think it is a nice card that you can just slam down. It's an alternative search target if you don't have any Blue Moon Archers left, because realistically you're not going to search this over a Blue Moon Archer. The Archer provides so much more value.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't search for this. I would search for this.
I mean, it's great, but if I had the choice out of an Archer or a Heavy G, I'm picking the Archer 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think there's a very niche situation where I might pick the Heavy G, where your opponent's just like so drained that like you just want to hit the face. But like 9 out of 10 times I'm picking Archer. It just provides that much pressure and value.
Only potentially picking this at the start of the game when your opponent isn't really like getting very lucky with cards, like if they don't have a champion down.
Or at the end game where you just need to like hit their face when they're completely out and they're like, this could give you that extra 2 strength for lethal over the Blue Moon Archer's strength. So
I still class this as a support for Blue Moons. And I don't think this comes close to an Archer. Very good, but the Archer,
I think there's just
Blue Moon shine.
I just think there's very niche situations you might pick this card over the Archer. Overall, the Archer's better, 100%. But this card is still good. Like, just because the Archer's so much better doesn't mean this card is bad at all.
No, it's just shining under a very, very bright card, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that card has been here for, 5 years now, so...
The Archer, for me, is probably one of the only 5 booms, if I was to rate it on a scale. Potentially rate the scale, it might be a 6, but It's too good.
Damn. Okay, well, having said that, let's go on to our next card, which is going to be, if this bloody computer works. So you guys, okay, now everyone can see it. UA the Medic. 4 cost, 1 range, 2 strength, 3 health. With the ability, once per turn, you can plus 1 health onto any unit that has less than their base health. With the quote, this should cure your ailments.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. I like it. It's good. 2 and 3 is decent. It's nothing special, being honest. It's obviously quite a high resource card. I feel like I would use this quite a lot in the trade center, if I had it in a deck. But the health does make an assistance. I mean, it's not as good as having an item card and knocking that on, or like an eat up, where you're just clearing the health on top. But I feel like it will have some good tactics down the line. And I've also noticed, I don't know if you've done this on purpose, but the once per card you can add plus 1 health onto any unit that has less than their base health. That also, it doesn't specifically just entertain your cards, it may do the opponents as well, which might potentially be some sort of effect down the line to kind of use that effect to a good use. Again, I'm just trying to think of how that would work, but I mean, it's okay.
I can tell you how it works. You pity your opponent, give their unit an extra health, and then kill it off.
Destroy it. Yeah.
I think it could be fun if we potentially see a mechanic where it's like, there's a deck called Nurse Burn in a different card game, and when your opponent would gain health on a card, it loses it instead. So then you like rack these up, and then you make it gain the health, but then you play like an environment and it actually like lose all of its health instead. It could be quite a fun mechanic.
Yeah, there'd be a cool way where you have UA the medic do the exact opposite for the opposite side. Where again, just like you said, I've seen a card in the past in another TCG. Anytime your opponent heals, it does some sort of other status effect, which could work quite well with that. You force your opponent's hand in a way.
Are we just finding ways of turning UA evil?
Yes. We're just creating you new cards.
UA the evil medic.
Look how awesome he is. He's just weighing out his like herbs and stuff.
Top right.
They're poisonous herbs, Sinji.
I wonder where he gets his herbs from.
Link in bio.
So, I don't know. Do you guys don't have anything else to say about UA the medic?
I think it's very useful. It's very useful late game, but I don't think it's amazing.
I think he's good early game, right? This isn't even me playing like devil's advocate. If you have him early game and you only draw into like your recruits or whatever, you're keeping them alive because every single turn he's gaining, well, not gaining, but he's like restoring that health. So battle, restore the health. And then if you have another battle, restore the health.
Isn't it, just to be sure, just based on the phrasing, is it any unit in one turn? So I could do like 3 units in one turn, plus 1. Or is it just the 1 unit per turn?
1 unit.
Okay. Yeah, see, again, I think it's good. I just don't think it's amazing as an ability. But I think that is good. Again, it's sometimes unfair if every single card has a correct ability that's always going to be used.
I just think we're in a world where most units are getting like one shot because we're either heavily targeting it because it's such a strong card, or it's so weak that it just gets hit by one's like mid body. So I think, although it's a nice effect, there's going to be a lot of times where it's just not going to have a use because all my things are just getting one tapped. Like we're going to Blue Moon Archer, we're stacking our Archer up with 3 units behind it, and we're just taking out that Shen in 1 hit. Your UA is not going to be able to heal the Shen because I've just smacked everything I have into it. I think it's an alright effect though. The question, will this ever link to the herbs, and will we ever be able to search it off Herbalist, Tingy?
Is that a herb card?
Well, I feel like we're very loose on our herbs and all our archetyping cards, because like that symbol in the top right could mean a herb. You never know.
UA the herb medic.
UA the herb medic, or do a tag team card where it's a UA and the herbalist in the same card.
Because if I'm really specific, they're herbs on the card, so it's a herb card.
No, that will be coming up next year. But no, this you'll eventually see like everything that everyone's watching now. If they pay attention to it, it's all like done by design. Because think about all the different artwork. I have to direct that artwork. I have to tell them exactly what to put in there. So like, there's a lot of things that if people go digging, they could probably figure like some stuff out for next year. But that's only for the true fans that are digging into this. Now, again, we have exhausted the positivity of all these cards and negativity. So, boom ratings at the ready, Cavish.
I'm giving it a 2. I mean, there's a big feature for it, but I think I wouldn't personally use it in my deck because I think I agree with Nick. We seem to agree a lot that a lot of the cards are either getting cleaned off just one shot, just depending on how you're using it. Everyone is using the archer, and if we're using like recruits, like you mentioned earlier, realistically they're just fodder to just block some incoming damage, or just to save other pieces, in which to get 1+ health for 1 unit a turn. I mean, that would be helpful for things like a Shen, but I'd rather just use an E-up, or it'd be helpful for a forest dweller, but again, I'd rather just use an E-up. So 2.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna give it a 2. I might give it a 1.5, just because I'm never running it. You'll never see me run the card. The 2/3 I think is an alright stat line. The 4 cost, I think if it was a 3 cost, it'd be runnable to an extent. But the 4 cost is too high for the effect when everything's just getting killed.
For me, if this is in my deck, realistically, I'm most likely going to be using it as trade center fodder.
Exactly, I agree. And with the 1 range, I know it's not meant to be an attacking card, but it doesn't present any opportunities for offense. You just have to kind of like hide it in the back and hope that you can get it out for multiple turns for its use. But then, even if you do get it out for multiple turns, your opponent just doesn't even have to worry about it. As long as they're killing things in 1 shot, all this card is a 2 attack, 2 strength.
3 strength. Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm sorry, 2 attack, 3 defense. My bad.
Yeah.
You guys hate this card, alright.
No, that's not it. You gotta
cut this up.
Hinchy, you've seen how I played. I'm definitely
you two
not
play very similar. Like, you guys have the same play style. So if this was Rayan, I think Rayan would quite like this card because he really loves the lion archetype. Because obviously they're so defensive. Imagine you have your impenetrable wall, and then you have UA in the right and the back. And he's just like healing these people from behind. Like
that is why Rayan will lose against me 10 out of 10.
I was gonna say that's why Rayan's a bad player.
He's
cooling him out.
Okay, well, because of that, let's go on to our next card, which is a gamble because I don't know what it is because it won't even click. Okay, apparently that's not working. So how do I?
Yippee!
Okay, so the next card, Blossom's Blade, 4 cost, 1 range, 2 strength, 4 health, with the ability: when this unit deals damage to a leading unit, the supporting unit behind must take 1 damage. With also the quote, "You're not getting away." So how are we feeling about this, guys?
I like this. 2 and 4 is pretty good. Like it's nothing insane, but the 4 defense definitely helps. That clears off half the units from killing it straight away. Can high resource, and very low range. But to be honest, you don't need any range with this with the effect. The whole point is that you're attacking that first unit anyway. So you don't need to have 2 or 3 range. Makes no difference. Makes no odds at all because realistically you're always going to be hitting that first card. Hit it for 2. Hit the second one for 1. Just knocks out the veteran hay after a few turns, or with a little bit of assistance. That helps a lot.
Although I get your point, I don't think this card is that good. Just because I would any other day of the week, I'd rather just like a stronger card with a few more range. Like, I'd take the heavy G, or I'd take like the Blue Moon Archer, because it's the heavy G's hitting for 4 on 2 range, right? So that's still dealing more than this 2, and then the 1, so it's 3 in total, right? And I can just pick out one thing. If I want to get rid of the unit behind it, I just target that specifically with my range. I know it's like spreading damage out and nice in that sense, but it's just too little for it to really matter, in my opinion, for the 4 cost. The 4 defense is quite nice on it to make it like a little bit tanky, but I just don't think it's doing enough.
I get your point. I think it's only good in certain scenarios. Let's say like your mid-game, late game, where everyone's kind of lost a lot of health on all the cards on the field. They're all just like waiting to die in a way, especially if it's one-sided. But you just knock this on 4 resources, not a terrible amount. I mean, I'd prefer 3, but I think 4 is a bit more balanced with this sort of effect. And just like that, in one lane, you're clearing off 2 different cards. If you're mid-game, where not everything is full health, that's 2 recruits, or like a taxman and fat chancellor, or like your just, I don't know, like a lot of smaller things getting knocked out. 2 cards for 1 is quite helpful. Again, not in many scenarios, but just a few would be quite good.
Yeah, I just think it's too niche to see play in my deck, at least. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it.
Remember what archetype this card is a part of? It's part of the Blossoms, right? Because obviously I see the bigger picture, because I design everything from behind, so I see it from the back end. But think about the situation where you have all these like Blossoms cards, which is like crowd controlling the field, and people aren't able to move. And then you've got Lung Feng as well, leveled up. Lung Feng's taking that 1 damage off, right? He's already doing all this mass damage to a bunch of different people. You play Blossom's Blade, you get 2 kills out of 1 card in 1 turn in the same lane. That's lane removal on like the max.
Blossom's Blade with Lung Feng, and even like Blossom's Archer, and what's the one where you can... can't remember the one where you can move your card twice.
Tactician.
Tactician. Those mixed together as a whole Blossoms deck is pulling this card up a lot more. This makes it very usable.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still don't think it's like amazing, but it's usable with like a full Blossom package for sure.
Oh yeah, of course, because that's how we've designed it.
Oh. Yeah, but I'm telling you, otherwise it's bad. What do you want me to do, Hinchy? Like, you argue when I say it's bad, you argue when I say it's good. What do you want from me? What do you want?
I want you to suffer.
I'm no comment. I'm already doing that.
No, it's like, I agree. I think if it's in the Blossom package, it's so much more useful. You're not going to just randomly play a Blossom's Blade in like a Lion's deck, because you're not going to get that true value out of it. But I mean, yeah, I guess you could, but also it's like the squashies. If you're playing this like early game and then you see so many squashies come out, you're just bonking them, right? You're just like, bonk, you're gone. Bonk, you're gone. It's an easy way to get any sort of like reinforcing units just destroyed. I think it's a really good, like, it's kind of like a board wipe, but not a real board wipe.
Yeah,
I just want to say, sorry,
Karen.
I just want to say that right now, I think I'm not really looking at building like archetype specifics though. I'm just kind of, what's working for me is just kind of shoving everything that's good into a deck, and it works. Like I think the biggest thing I'll run is like a Blue Moon package, but even then that's like maybe 10 cards maximum of Blue Moons. So like I throw in 3 Archer, 3 Recruiter. No, but if you really think about it, when there's probably, I don't know, how many Blue Moons are we on? 4, 5, 6, something like that.
5, I think.
Yeah, so that's like 15 cards I could be running, but I'm running 3 Recruiter, 3 Archer, and then like 1 or 2 of the others, just to like have the option to search them out off my Recruiter. So like I'm not really running a package-based deck. I'm just running good stuff. Like good stuff Dynasty is my deck. So like when you say, oh, this card can be played in the archetype, I'm not really thinking like that. I'm just like, will it slot in nicely? Is it a good generic card, etc., etc.
To be honest, I think this works well with Blue Moons. Like, if you have a Blue Moons Blossom deck, which is very doable because, again, you can't fill a whole deck with just one right now. I think it works quite well. Having Blue Moons with a few Blossoms on the field with this, you're gonna make a very hard game, if not an easy win.
I like that. Well, okay. I guess we're going to do our boom ratings for this card. Kavish, how many booms are we giving the Blossoms Blade?
I'm giving it a 3. Like, it's not broken, it's not amazing, it's good. It fits in well with a few certain things. It's not bad, it's not good, it just works.
Nick?
I also give it a 3. I have nothing else to say. It's just an average card.
Do you know what?
No, it's...
Go ahead.
I just have to get angry for once. I can be calm because someone actually thinks the way I do. Someone thinks, in my opinion, the correct way.
I want to be here when there's more people here to disagree with you, to be honest. It'll be fun to see.
When Rayan's in, or when Shaban's in as well, there's a little bit more action. But when it's you two, it's like, yeah, it's alright.
It's because me and Nick are good at the game.
Yeah, if you just pick the best 2 players and just put us on a podcast, didn't you?
I know. And I don't play the game enough, so so I don't really mind. So okay, well, I will say that previously, as a little nice little lore fact for people, the Blossom's Blade the other day was way stronger, and it was borderline a pseudo champion as a 4-cost, and basically it was obviously do the damage in the that lane, right? To the leading unit. And then do 2 damage to every unit in the same lane. That was
that's correct.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
That puts Lung Feng to shame.
So I'm saving that for a different champion, and not this card. That's a fun fact. So people know that this could have been a really crack card, but I nerfed him so I can get some balance in the game.
Yeah, that would have been. That's not for resource worthy. That would be that's a champion.
It is a champion. Yeah. And any unit that does more than one thing and more than 1 damage to more than one thing is okay, you're a champion now. But yes, next card, which will be, if I can sort this out, Lion's Rider. 4-cost, 3 range, 3 strength, 3 health. The ability, when deployed, all enemy units in the same lane must switch to defense position with the flavor text. Let's see how they defend this.
Loving the little voices.
Yeah, I was going to say,
keep it entertaining.
And she sounded like Year 2 phonics class. When deployed, all enemy units in the same lane. Start singing my ABCs.
You've got to slow things down sometimes, you know. Dynasty phonics.
Oh no.
Learn with Hinchy.
Learn with Hinchy, no.
Morning, everyone. Let's learn about the Lion's Riders. Oh, damn it, I did a really annoying thing on this card. But I won't let anyone know. They'll realise it. It doesn't change anything. But
is it Lion's Riders by any chance?
Yeah, is it a name?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really sad. Yeah.
But yeah,
I think this is
going
decent.
into print.
I think 3/3 is good. Decent resources again 4, but 3 range, which makes a big difference. I think the only problem is when you deploy all enemy units into defense. It feels like the best option is then to move the card out of that lane and then attack there. It's going to be quite useful to just knock some cards away.
Yeah, I mean, you're pseudo stunning cards for a turn because they have to switch back to attack before they can move lane. So if you really think about it, you're locking 3 cards into place max when you play this down. I think it's really nice because it's a form of disruption we haven't seen. For 4 costs, free range, free is just a really solid stat line. Like, it's not losing fights easily, and it's dealing a nice chunk of damage, and it can pick out things. Like, you can... Also, the advantage of switching everything to defense is that you're not taking damage on the clapback. So you can swing into this. Say you're swinging into a Shen, it's going to stop the Shen's level up condition because he can't swing back into it. So you can just heavy build up into that.
That's a good point.
Stop teaching people how to counter Shen. That's not allowed, guys. That's not...
Well, it's fine because Shen's not even a good champion compared to Lung Feng. So, like,
Exactly. Lung Feng is the GOAT.
I need to get
Exactly.
away from each other on the podcast.
I mean, I use Shen because of the ability, but now Lung Feng, it clears that for me.
Yeah.
It works really, really well. But yeah, this works amazing against Shen. I never even thought about that. So thanks for letting me know of that one. Especially when you're supporting it, shifting that. Or even like an archer as well. Blue Moon, I mean. Just knock it aside if you really need to move your cards into another lane so it doesn't get affected by its the Blue Moon ability. This counters both of those cards really well. Potentially 2 of the most OP cards in the game being Shen and the Blue Moon Archer, and this counters both of them.
Yeah, it's a great card, and it's just a unique mechanic, which I like to see. Always like seeing these little niche mechanics just making their way in. Different styles that I can not only benefit myself, but make my opponent want to play the game even less.
Yeah, like as Hinchy knows, and I guess you play in the same sort of way. I don't play defensive, and it's not my sort of style, and it's not most people's style, but forcing other people to play defensive is quite fun. It's just funny. It is like a rage bait mechanic. I'm gonna switch all your cards into defense and you can't do nothing about it, and it is funny. I feel like this might be one of the only lions that I would use in any deck.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really, really well.
I think this slots into any deck as a free of just because it's versatility. Like, you don't even have to use it to counter a specific card. Just shoving everything into defense is just such a good way of neutralizing your opponent's game plan. Like, they're putting themselves back a turn. They're not able to move things around, shuffle their lanes up a bit. So just having everything neutralized is such a good mechanic to have on a 4-cost body.
Agreed. I think this... Yeah.
I was going to say, unless playing the Lions, then the Lions are already in defense position. Then this card then becomes incredibly useless.
Against Yang Bei, this is the worst card.
Sure, but then at that point you either trade it off or you just play it into an empty lane. Like, this card has one bad matchup, sure. Like, or you just play it in and you ping it off. Like, it's not changing the... In Yang Bei's matchup, it's still freezing them in place because they have to switch it back to attack to move it. It's not really changing anything else, because it will still be attacking like it's in attack mode. You know?
And to be honest, like, yes, Yang Bei counters it, but not amazingly. But also, defense isn't a very, very common play style for many people. I know we here don't really like it, but I don't think many people generically play that sort of style in many games. So having that 1 in 4, realistically smaller than that chance of playing against a Yang Bei deck or a Lions deck, should I say, it's going to be quite low. And even still, it doesn't get hard countered. It's just a bit more annoying slightly. That's about it.
Yeah, and as I was saying on the Yang Bei episode, I just don't think Yang Bei is good. Like, it's Yang Bei himself is so fragile that you can just like intimidate the Yang Bei and then play this with no setback. You know, like, any way to remove your Yang Bei and then playing this, all the drawbacks of this card are gone.
So I have also just opened up my Yang Bei deck, and I'm gonna pull out the champion and the battle champion. Obviously, the champion, this card works really well into just assisting that into becoming a battle champion. But if they have a Yang Bei and you have a Lion Rider, Obviously it's a 3/9, which is quite rough on the defense. It's going to take a while to whittle that down. But with things defending that Line Rider, knocking that into defense every turn, knocking 3 damage into it, if not more, and then just moving lane so it can't do anything to you next turn is going to really hurt. It's Yangbei is its best counter, and it's not even that good of a counter. And this card works amazingly.
This is only when deployed. So this is basically a one-time thing, unless you retreat him to recycle the ability.
I mean, I didn't even think of retreating him. That makes it even better, to be honest with you. I know it's on the when deploy, but it's just something you can hold in your hand, because you don't have too much hand disruption. We have the intelligence seller, but like that's it. That's all they have. So you can just hold this and hope that it doesn't get hit out, and then just wait for that perfect time. The free range as well, like, it's just such a good card. I don't think you can say too much bad about it.
Yeah, I'll say this is an easy champion killer. If you have a champion on your side and they do as well, you play this, knock all those cards in that lane into defense and clear them off well, not immediately, but you get a lot of them down. It clears off the archer, clears off champions with some support. It works really well.
No, I agree. I have nothing to say.
Well, all right, but on that note, let's
Me
do
and
our
Nick
boom
team
then,
off each other.
because you guys this is just the does Nick and Cabbage enjoy the cards? Yes, they do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do, good sir.
So, all right then, how many booms are we giving this, Cabbage?
So I'm giving it a 4. It would be a 5 if it wasn't for when deployed, but I think if it wasn't when deployed, it's too OP. But that is the one thing from keeping it into one of the most OP cards in the game. I think it's extremely balanced, but also really, really good. This is probably a card that I'll put in my deck no matter what.
Yeah, I think this is a 4.5 for me. I'll just up it that slight bit, just because how good it is. The free range, free stat line on the 4 cost body, and that effect is just nuts. Like, there's just no denying it's at least a 4.
Okay, well, I would actually agree with you guys. This is actually a really, really fun card, and especially when I was designing as well. There was a point where this was not going to be when deployed, and it was just like once per turn, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but then
again, that would make it potentially better than a Blue Moon Archer. You're pissing your opponent off every single turn.
Yeah, and we can't do that. We can't make people hate the game, which is why I have to nerf cards like that. But for everyone watching at home, thank you very much for watching this week's episode of Cardcast. Please, I want to say thank you to all the Patreon subscribers and our lovely co-hosts. So I'm now going to let these guys do an outro.
Nick, start off and I'll tee you off.
It's just, I don't know. Thank you everyone for watching. You actually saw us got to review some of my favorite cards, some interesting mechanics, and just it was one of my favorite episodes just because I didn't have to shout and wake up my neighbors. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you hopefully next week.
And thank you guys as well. It's been great to be in my first podcast, and hopefully me and Nick will be in another one with maybe Brian and Shaban, so we can just kind of take the piss and have some fun with them.
Yeah, we can express our correct opinion and say how bad theirs is, you know?
Exactly.
Okay, and that's done. Okay.